let's go to Italy. This is the one. This one's a one-bedroom. It's a bit of a different one again. A one-bedroom apartment on a development in Italy. It's close to Lake Garda. Got a shared pool. It's got a living room with a corner kitchen.
That's a baby belling or a microwave?
That's basically open plan, isn't it, as we call it? But it's obviously
a pot noodle
quite bijou.
and a kettle.
But I mean, when you're looking at the location, let's see the location.
Hello, I can just see. Is that George Clooney I can see there?
No, that's Lake Como, darling.
Oh, right, sorry,
this is Lake Garda, but equally popular among Italians and among visitors coming out there. And in my opinion, you know, buying in a location like this, you can't go far wrong. But when you look at the price, this one is on the market for £143,000. So when you compare it to Florida...
This is so typically you. I'm showing these lovely ladies and gentlemen a £111,000 property with 4 bedrooms, and you're whacking them over to Lake Garda and giving them a one-bed pot noodle for £143,000.
Yeah,
typical expensive
look at the view.
taste.
Look at the view. I have got expensive
I'm glad
taste,
I'm not married
but
to
I
a
also...
Unbelievable.
For the record, I'm glad I'm not married to you.
Yeah, true.
You're way too short for me.
I know, and my pockets are too deep as well, and I've got short hands. I know you'd never get a drink out of me, Jazz.
Let's go into the figures for this one, because basically you're going to look at nearly 70 grand as your total one-off cost. So that's a deposit of 40%. So again, we're talking about a much larger deposit, and then your fees of about 11 grand. So nearly £70,000 we're talking about. Ongoing costs, about £6,000 a year, which I think is reasonable. Best case scenario, you're looking at just over £13,000. Worst case scenario, about £8,000. So again, the yield is not going to be the major attraction with the property here. I think the major attraction is going to be the location. And if you can afford a place on the lake, then all the better. A lot of people that holiday in these kind of areas want to be right on the lake. They want to be able to walk into the town. They want to be able to get to places easily. And I do think that if you buy in a very desirable location, although it might be expensive to begin with, when you're looking at reselling that property, there's always going to be a demand for that, because you can only get so many lakefront properties. You know, you can't build extra lakefront properties. So I think that that is really, really critical to look at, not only from a resale point of view, but also from a rental point of view.
I've got a sneaky suspicion here, Jasmine. I'm sorry to go into a bit more detail. I've got a sneaky suspicion that that's the picture of the property, yeah? That's just a picture of a lake, right? And I don't think this has lake views, young lady. But if we look at it...
The estate agent's details would imply that it has.
A pretty village 1 kilometre from the western shore of Lake Garda.
Oh, goodness me, I've missed that.
Anyway, but it's a great...
Thanks for that, Jonnie.
It's a great... But the point I'm making is, again, get out there,
get out there and look.
Get out there.
And don't make a silly mistake of not reading your notes properly before.
But no, I'm jesting. But the whole thing is, I want to look at... I'm very boring, Jazz is glamorous, that's the way we roll. But I want to look into figures a bit more, because not only have we already put 40% deposit down on this place, but let's look at the whole fees here. Your cost of purchase, your notary fees, your stamp duty, your transfer taxes, on your travel costs, whilst you're putting 40% down, which is about £57,000, your overall cost you're putting down is around £68,000. Now, if you look at your best case scenario, you've got £68,000 down, okay? So an extra £10,000 to buy it. So whilst the purchase price is £143,000, your overall price, you're in for £153,000, okay? You've got your annual costs at £6 grand a year, but your best case scenario is £13,000. So, as Jazz says, you've got to want a property on Lake Garda, because once you do the figures for this, you know, you're not even pulling a 4% yield out of this. You're getting a wonderful property a kilometre from the shores of a beautiful lake, but this is no rental investment. This is something that you've got to want, and that's the whole difference between anybody looking for a property.